Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Happy July 1st.
Yes.
George, how are you?
Very well, Mayor. How are
Good,
you?
very good.
Half the year, Mayor.
Half the year?
Mhm.
Half the year, and it feels like a year and a half or 2 years.
It does.
But welcome, everybody. This is another version, I guess, of our videos on COVID, and we've had some very positive feedback, which is great to hear from our residents, because the whole reason for doing this is to update people on the COVID situation and the things surrounding it to the best we can. And let me just start off by saying, I think since our last meeting, which was probably 2.5 weeks ago.
It was.
So we've spread these out a little bit, and we'll continue to do them as needed. But the fewer means it's better, so that's good. However, after being on an OEM call yesterday morning and speaking with Kevin, our health official, he's a bit concerned about where we are from a national perspective, and we all get that. We're all paying attention to it. I have to say that from our point of view, with respect to Warren itself, we've done a terrific job.
Terrific.
I mean, the residents have really done a great job social distancing.
Residents
and
and
doing their
businesses,
thing.
Mayor.
Right, and businesses, which I was getting to as well, specifically the restaurants, which you and I know Gary have spent some time with.
Yes.
Being able to get to a point where they're opening for outside use. We changed our ordinance to make sure that they could do that in a timely fashion. And they've done so really well, very well. And we ask that residents be patient with them as well, because there are some people that don't believe they should. There are people that think that all of it should be open. We get that. Let's respect each other's position and be kind and work at the best we can. And I think that's really what's happened. At the end of the day, some of the residents have come back. I've seen them. The restaurants have done a terrific job social distancing and making sure that patrons are careful and where they set up and masked up and distanced, and that's a kudos to them for doing a good job. I have to say, I'm more than disappointed in the governor's decision, most recently to cancel 25% of the indoor dining, because these restaurants have purposely went out, invested money, invested employment time to make sure that that was done in accordance with what was expected. And it was really the rug pulled out from them.
Mayor, I couldn't agree with you more. Obviously, many of us have seen the pictures of what happened at the shore and some of the bars, and that was egregious. Needless to say, there wasn't a pandemic.
Right.
No face coverings, no social distancing. They were crowded in there, but we should not be penalizing
That's correct.
everyone for the bad deeds of just a few. We don't have that problem in our restaurants, and obviously we don't have bars and clubs in our town.
Yep.
But nonetheless, our folks have done a great job. They've not only spent money to prepare to open indoor, they've spent significant dollars for their outdoor dining. So they've incurred that cost already, hoping to offset that cost by having a 25% of capacity indoor, and now they don't have that option. And they're scared.
Again, to pull that away from them in the last minute because of nationalistic type of view or a couple bad apples, as we know, is not the right thing to do. It's an example of poor leadership in our opinion. I was contacted by a news outlet that asked me for a quote, and I quoted on behalf of our township committee. So we all felt this way. So it's disappointing. At the end of the day, our business residents, our businesses, our residents need to know that we'll do all we can to make sure that we can do what we can to support these local businesses and to make sure that they have either more time, whatever we need to do to help them, we're here for them. So that kind of gets me to the point of where we are from a COVID perspective. I do understand, and we had an OEM meeting with Kevin and probably 15 others, including Victor Sardillo, who's on there. And we've now moved our meetings to twice a month. Which is good. Again, having fewer meetings with this is a good sign.
Yes.
But the numbers have gone down. We're on the right track. We cannot let our foot off the pedal with respect to what we're doing with social distancing, especially being masked up around other people and keeping this 6-foot distance. So it's critically important that we continue to do so. We're also very clued in right now with respect to what's going on the national, especially the southern states, right, George?
That's
where
right.
This thing is starting to kind of explode. I don't personally think that they had what we had here in the Northeast, but we can't let this creep back in. It's really important that we monitor this, pay attention to it, and if we see changes, especially locally, even outside of the county or outside of the state, we will take action as a township committee to make sure that our residents and our businesses stay safe. But the goal is to continue to do what we're doing.
Again, Mayor, I have to emphasize, what we're seeing across the country and in the South, obviously testing has increased, so we knew that the positive results would come through the increase in testing. We had the protests, which were probably not a great idea.
Right.
And nonetheless, we have seen an uptick, fortunately, and I know that the folks have been watching, many more young people are becoming positive, that's correct, but they're not developing life-threatening conditions for the most part. But we're concerned that social distancing, as you emphasized earlier with the masks, it's protecting the vulnerables, protecting the elderly, it's protecting those with underlying conditions. I know we've all heard it. I know that you think you can go out, you're not going to be harmed by it because you're of a certain age, and that's likely to be true. But geez, if you come back and you give it to somebody else, and then they get sick and they have to go to the
That's a
hospital.
great point, George. I mean, the asymptomatic people
Yes.
that are going out, and we saw it at the beach, we've seen it. I was down on a vacation, fortunately, had a little bit of time, and you see people just going about daily life. We all want to do that, but it's really important to remind ourselves, especially the younger generation too, those 16 to 30s, you got to practice the masking and going out. It's really important because even if you're asymptomatic, you can still spread this to a loved one or somebody else down the road. So
That's the
we have to be cognizant of that. So let me move into some written information here.
Yes.
George, you can chime in as you see fit, okay? Just recently too, I think within the past couple of weeks, we've moved from our COVID reports to being, I think Mr. Crane is here with us, to once a week, I believe, being sent out. And in the meantime, it's also going to be put on the website, which we are working on that website. We're gonna have a brand new website too, but that's a different social media meeting,
Yes, it is.
which we'll get into, but it's positive. So that information is still available. Again, I did meet with Kevin briefly in our OEM meeting. He's pretty satisfied with where we are, but we need to make sure we're diligent with what we do, and we'll keep an eye on what the future brings. A note here as well, Town Hall will be reopening July 6th. We are looking forward to seeing you and welcoming you back. Safety precautions have been taken to ensure residents and employees are protected. It's mandatory to wear a mask when entering the building, and social distancing rules will apply here. Recently too, we've encouraged residents to utilize online services through our website. Use the Dropbox in the vestibule or take an appointment in order to assist township staff providing safe environments. So we're here, we're able to do our business as we have been. We're loosening up some of those restrictions, but please be aware that the social distancing rules still apply. Having said that, the Warren Library will reopen July 6th. Occupancy will be limited to 21 people, and the drop boxes remain closed as well. So
It's a start.
It's a start. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
It's important to gradually do this and monitor what we're doing. Playgrounds will be open July 2nd. That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
I'm sure everybody with younger kids will enjoy that.
Want to play basketball, Mayor? You can play basketball.
There you go. I'm not sure I'm ready for basketball, but all township trails are now open, subject to social distancing requirements as well. From a rec department perspective, we will still be hosting our annual summer concert series. All concerts will be taking place at the Marion Municipal Field area starting at 7 p.m. You must bring your own lawn chair and must be social distance. And we will be enforcing that. So please don't have any of the police or our rec department have to ask you to social distance. Families can stay together, but keep your distance and we'll all enjoy our time.
Mayor, I couldn't agree with you more. Again, proud of our recreation department and our township for again launching what is a very successful concert series. Let's not forget, the county canceled their concert series.
Right.
So here we are
County
managing it
canceled.
well, and we've been able to
Right.
introduce it again.
Unfortunately, the county canceled pretty much everything.
Very much. And
Which I
municipal
think,
pools in April,
Right.
and now you can go to the pool.
Right. Think about that when you pay your taxes. Also want to remind everybody that our virtual summer camps are still open to register for those. So let's talk a little bit, George, about our businesses downtown. I know you've been spending a lot of time going and meeting a lot of the owners and getting some feedback, and just from what I've seen with respect to how they've set up their outside dining has been absolutely fabulous.
Mick, I could be more proud. Kevin DiMartino and I went door to door to all of the restaurants. I want to hats off to Mr. Crane, to Mary Ellen Vaughton in our zoning department, because we, as you stated earlier, we got out ahead with ordinances that we were approved to prepare for this when it opened. I believe it was the 15th of June, and the restaurants couldn't have done a better job. They engaged us. They didn't. They understood our approach to this. They asked for our advice. We asked them to pre-set up what they thought would be their diagrams for tables prior to opening. We took pictures. We discussed it with our zoning department. We came to agreements. We educated them on how to fill the permits out. It was a very good collaborative effort. They've done an excellent job. I think, which is also indicative of our cases have not really increased at all in Warren.
Right.
Just today, Mr. DiNardo is at a restaurant right now to discuss with the landlord and the restaurant owner an awning, so that if there's days like this where it rains,
Yep.
they can continue to serve outside. So we're really, really working with the landlords and the businesses to make sure that this is done well, and the restaurants have done a terrific job, and I'm really happy for them. They are upset about the indoor dining, because again, many of these restaurants have incurred a significant cost to open outside.
Right.
Tents are expensive.
Right.
And the monthly expense of a tent, in addition to the flowers and the shrubs that they purchased,
Right.
is expensive.
Not to mention the food, and you've arbitrarily pulled, another aspect of them, producing $1 in a service to our community. For what reason, I'm not sure, but unfortunate.
So, it's a shame that we couldn't open indoor, but again, great job, businesses and restaurants, and those that have been filling, our residents that have been filling those restaurants, thank you very much. I've driven by all of them, and the crowds have been well spaced with masks when possible. Of course, you can't use a mask when you're eating.
Right.
But hats off, and I'm proud of them.
Great, good. Good, so, George, you have some other things here. Robert Wood Johnson.
Yes.
Wanted to touch base on, and then we'll touch base on some election day issues.
Yeah, Mick, we did a blood drive in May and June in conjunction with Robert Wood Johnson and Somerset Medical Center, and our Warren Police did it, and they managed it and expedited it. The second blood drive was just a few weeks ago, and both blood drives yielded 50 units of blood, which could save 100 local lives. It was an outstanding accomplishment, obviously. Hats off to all of our police force, led by Chief Keene, in getting this done. Due to that success, Mayor, the police will be scheduling subsequent blood drives in the future as well.
Fabulous. I know there's a lot of residents that wanted to do this. I think they filled up immediately, which is great, which is another, just a great sign of our residents being, wanting to take part in whatever aspect they can to support.
Yes, we donated our blood, Mick, and
I
drank our Gatorade to make sure that we weren't going to pass that.
Worried about feeling a little wobbly there, but I managed to do okay. My first time.
Believe me, I saw your face turn white. I said, "Oh boy." Moving forward, Mayor, obviously Election Day is coming up Tuesday, July 7th. If you have not already voted by mail-in ballot on Election Day, you may come to the municipal court, which we're at right now, to cast a paper ballot. There will be no voting machines except for disabled folks or disabled residents. This is the only polling location for this election is going to be right here in our township. Clerk Kathy is spearheading that, shaking her head right now. Thank you, Kath, for all that hard work. If you have a mail-in ballot, you may also place it in one of the 5 drop boxes in the county. So not only here, but if you're mailing it, if you can't mail it, you can drop it off at the Berners Municipal Building, the Bridgewater Municipal Building, Hillsborough, Franklin, and of course the Somerset County Administrative Building. So a little bit different process, obviously, this year. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I've had a
Sure,
lot of
you have
calls.
your opinions.
Yeah, there's a lot of people voicing their opinions too, because we've had text calls and emails from residents saying, what's going on here? Look, a lot of people don't perhaps vote in primaries. At the end of the day, the ballot that comes to you you should vote. You should vote. It's your God-given right based on this country to vote, and you should be doing that. So use it, take advantage of it. Perhaps don't mail it and warn. Just saying. We've always had ongoing problems there, but as Deputy Mayor pointed out, there are locations to drop this in. So please get out and vote. It's important to do. And it's not too late to ask for a ballot too. We can still, if you haven't received it, and I'm not sure what the rules are, but you can still send in a request to get a ballot and get it in time. As long as that ballot's mailed by July 7th, I think, Kathy, that I'm right,
Must be
and they
postmarked
have
on
up
the
until, I think, the 14th to get all this calculated. So
Has to be postmarked
Yeah.
on the 7th, by the 7th.
important to vote.
Yep.
And one thing that's not on our paper here, George, but I feel the pressure to comment on it, is the census.
Yes,
I, for the life of me, don't know when the census closes.
yes.
But we as a township are not bad, but not great.
We are not moving
Right,
that
and
needle.
Deputy Mayor and I put out a kind of a challenge to our residents, because we get these reports from county about where the other towns are. We need to be up in the 80% echelon.
We're in the bottom
Let's
third.
get up, yeah, we're like 77%
Yes, we
or
are.
something, and we can do better. Get them done, it's really simple, you can log on, they've sent out information to get this done. It takes literally a minute,
A minute.
2 minutes.
Very simple.
It's really important for the township with respect to federal funds and other things, redistricting and other issues, so it's important to get that out there. That's it, Mr.
Yeah, I wish, on behalf of our township committee, and I know the mayor will make the comment as well, happy 4th of July to everybody, our Independence Day. Looking forward to some good weather apparently
Yes.
in the local area, and, we just hope that everybody stays safe and healthy and enjoys the 4th with family and friends.
Yeah, good points, Mr. Lazo. I think the other is, again, since we started this COVID situation in mid-March,
Yes.
going on 4 months, none of us have panicked. We're not going to. We're gonna get through this. We're doing a great job, and I don't mean just this committee, I mean our residents
Yes.
and everybody as a whole, doing a great job working together. Remember, when you're out there with others, and perhaps you don't see a mask, or perhaps somebody's not having a good day, just remember, be kind, okay? Be kind to each other. We don't know what's going on with each other personally at times. Really important to support each other, and just be kind.
Mayor, you make a good comment. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to in town that have been reprimanded by other patrons of a business because they didn't have their mask on, or they had it below their nose, or, it's a evolution that we're all going through. Perhaps the person left the mask in their car
Yeah,
and
right.
couldn't get back to it. Let's ask them kindly to wear their masks, or let's not be abrasive.
Sometimes a nice reminder is just that, a nice reminder.
reminder.
Be nice, we don't know what others are dealing with, so be nice. Have a great 4th, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Nick,
Mayor.
good to see you.
And we'll talk to everybody soon. Our meeting for, when is
July
our meeting,
6th.
Kath? Is
July 16th.
July 16th for our township meeting, okay? And we're live. We're live.
We're
gonna
live
continue to
streaming.
do these things live. So thank you, everybody, and stay well.